are back with another video on the Denali, and it's not going to be performance oriented in this video. So we've actually got a pretty cool package from Dynamic Lighting, and we have got some unreleased products that are actually still pre-order, but we have 4 of their Billet rock lights for the engine bay of this thing. Once I started posting this stuff, they hit me up and said, we got to have some in there to just top off this engine bay. So whenever I pop the hood, I will be able to really show off all the work we have done with the turbo kit. But also, in the package, we have 16 normal rock lights that we're going to be replacing all of our old rock lights with. The truck has had those cheap Amazon ones on for about 2 years. So we're going to go ahead and get those switched out. We also have some of their light strips for the frame. Because this truck is so low, it is hard to put rock lights in this section here without having a weird shadowy effect with little circles. So we've got a fix for that, and we're going to go over everything we got here in just a second. Like I said, 16 rock lights for under the vehicle, 2 strips for the frame rails, and 4 billet rock lights for the engine bay. Now let's get into installing all of this stuff. So I want to go over real quickly what is the difference between their Billet series rock lights and just their normal series rock lights. Now, the Billet ones are made in the United States, personally handmade by the owner of Dynamic Lighting. Not only is it made out of a full billet piece, it's got two super bright LEDs with 4 magnets on the back. So you don't actually have to drill if you're putting this on somewhere steel. For most vehicles, older vehicles, you're gonna have like a steel hood if you want to put it there. Frame rail, stuff like that, you can just magnetize it. You don't even have to drill a hole, so that's pretty nice. Now with the normal ones, you have a 9 diode LED, just like kind of most average rock lights. These ones are a little different. They're actually matte black. I usually see them as gloss black, and it has their little logo stamped on it. So I'm gonna do a light test to see how bright these Billet ones really are, since they are new to the market. And we're gonna see how bright these are compared to these. So I'm gonna turn off the light and hook these up to a battery source, and we're gonna see what they look like. So this is, wow, that's bright. So this is just one, actually, let's go and move this camera. So we have my garage door here, and this is one of the normal style lights. As you can tell, it just completely blinds out the camera. But yeah, the thing is super bright for the 9 LEDs. So now we're gonna compare this with the Billet one and see if there's really a difference. So these things are definitely, these Billet lights are definitely brighter. So like I said, these are not something, okay, we're gonna go turn the lights back on actually. But yeah, that thing lights that door up definitely more. Yeah, that thing is bright for just one. I'm gonna go turn the light back on. But yeah, so as you can tell, there's definitely a difference. I'm actually kind of surprised. I really didn't expect there to be that much of a difference. This door was definitely way more lit up with this Billet rock light. They are not cheap. I'm just gonna say that now. They are about $60 a piece. But when you're building these show quality vehicles, I mean, you're already dumping thousands of dollars into it. You might as well get some really nice lighting. Like I said, luckily enough, Dynamic Lighting sent these out to me to test on the truck, put in the engine bay. And for most people, it makes more sense to put it in an area you're gonna see this Billet rock light. So if I was building a giant show truck, I'd put it just in the wheel wells or just in the engine bay if you have performance parts, stuff like that, where you're really gonna see this rock light. Or if you just really wanna ball out and do a full Billet rock light set on your truck, I mean, this will do it. That is for sure. So if you definitely want to show people you got money, full Billet rock lights, definitely bright. But we're gonna get into installing all of these lights on the truck. Oh, we also got the strips. Hold on. So we also sent out these LED strips. I do not know if they're on his site at the moment, which I am going to be linking the Dynamic website down below, also his Instagram. But I don't know if these are on the site, but what these are white and amber strips that I'm gonna be running on the frame, like I said, to fill in that spot that I didn't have since the truck is so low. And these are also switchback strips. So if I wanted to hook it up where you would see it with the switchback, you'd be able to do that to where when I turn the signal on, it turns orange. I'm probably not going to use that feature just because I kind of want the all white. But we're going to get into installing all this stuff and seeing how bright this truck is. Now, I would show you the before and after of the old Rocklights and the new, but those are already disconnected from doing this whole engine thing. We just cut it all out. So no comparison there, but we're going to go ahead and get these installed. I have some old photos of them on, so we'll compare them to that later on. So like I said, we have 4 Billet Rocklights, and we're going to be putting these in the engine bay. Now, I got to decide where I'm going to put it. I think what I'm going to do, since these are magnetic, I'm going to put one right here so that it goes straight onto that turbo. One also right here, so it goes right here. And I'm also just going to be using the magnetic feature for these two because these are steel here. Now, the problem is I really want to put 2 on the hood, but the hood is not magnetic. So in case you didn't know, these 19 plus vehicles are all aluminum on moving parts. So any doors, hood, tailgate, stuff like that, all of that is aluminum. So that comes to be a little bit of a struggle here on how I'm going to mount these, because I don't really just want to self-tap them, but we might have to self-tap them. I don't want to, but I can't really think of a good way because the magnets don't work. I don't want to use rivets, and I can't get to the back side. Also, I don't know how I'm going to run this wiring. Just kind of don't know yet. So I have some of the zip tie tree clips that we might use to run wiring this way or whatever. Maybe if we just, and then down, make it look kind of like a factory windshield washer fluid thing. I don't know. But we got to be really careful when we're drilling through this hood to not bust through the structure and poke to the hood, because then it's going to leave a dent on the top of the hood going out. So got to be careful with that. But we got to figure out where we're going to put these. Then we can actually wire these up. Now, I want to show you guys something. So I'm going to hop in the bed. I'm going to show you guys something that I have in here. How my switch setup is on this truck. Now, it is not finished. Obviously, this is in the bed. It is not in the truck. But what we have here is a MIC tuning device. Now, this is an 8-switch panel. They do offer a 12 as well. But we have all of our switches right here. Now, what is cool about this device, not only do you have the switch panel, you can also use your phone to activate every switch on the panel as well. So, switch panel is super easy to use. It's completely off right now. Just press the on button. Now you can press any of these buttons to activate your switches. On mine, I have 2-step, Rocklights, engine bay lights, purge, the nitrous bottle heater, nitrous on, and nitrous activation. So I can do all of those not only from here, but from my phone, and I can do momentary switches. So as you can see here, this one, it lights up and turns right back off. Now, if I click the Rocklight one, it stays on because I have that wired up to stay on. But like I said, it's really easy. You can change the color, brightness, to whatever you want. It'll either stay on white or red, whatever. I don't know, but this is super cool, super nice. Like I said, you can do it from your phone, which is pretty handy, you know. I know it's kind of weird, stupid. I know it's a little dumb to have Rocklights and this and that on your truck, but at the end of the day, sometimes it's nice to be able to just turn it on with your phone when you're not by the truck, or say you didn't have them on, you want to turn them on. One thing I like is, say I'm in a restaurant and I'm sitting there watching people at the truck, maybe looking at it or something, or even a show, I can just hit the purge button. So I can just shoot nitrous up as long as the bottle's open, which that's pretty funny to me. So that's why I like this. It's a little different. I know not everyone is a fan of switches. And you actually, I don't even think you have to run this in the vehicle. If you want to just do it off your phone completely, you can. So that's kind of nice. Because I personally hate switches. I've always done kind of a garage door style switch or something like that, just because I don't like putting holes in the cab, which now I say that I've drilled a bunch of holes everywhere in this truck, but I just don't like doing it. But this is a great alternative for people that don't like doing that. You can stuff this wherever you want. Let's get into installing these Rocklights. All right, so here's where we ended up putting them on both sides. Then we got the other ones right there. Right there, they'll be right on the turbos. And then these are just kind of angled down. They're super bright. Like this, these two alone was probably enough, but we got those just for fun, I guess. These will be able to be moved because these I'm going to use the magnet version. of it because this is actually steel. So if I want to move these later on, they'll be really easy to just pop off and move. Those are kind of permanent because I did drill some holes. And one thing, I don't know if anyone is putting Rocklights on their hoods or anything that can protrude. Well, you got to be careful when you drill those holes. If you punch through it, it will leave that dimple. So used a step bit so that it couldn't, and yeah, doing good. So now we're gonna get these wired up, and then we'll move on to the actual Rocklights on the truck. But I want to get these interbay lights done, turn them on, and see what they look like. I think I'm gonna run the wires just down this side, over, down that side, over, and then connect the two. I would like to hide it into the hood, but I have the nice zip tie clips, so I think we're gonna use those. We'll see what I do. So I got a little distracted doing this, but I ended up finishing the engine bay. So got the four billet Rocklights from Dynamic Lighting all put in, and it looks sick. So like I said, we finished the engine bay. I have not gotten to the rest of the truck yet. It's probably gonna be a couple days till I can, so I will update the video when I get there, but I'm gonna turn this camera around and just give you a real good look of what this looks like. This engine bay looks so good. So as you can tell, it is super bright. Did one on each turbo, one on each corner of the hood, and also routed the wires through the hood, so there's not a lot of wires hanging down. Just comes out over there, runs down, and then it's controlled from either my phone or off of the control module that's gonna be in the console. Still haven't got that far either. So the truck's definitely taking a lot longer than I've expected. Just had some other stuff, but also, guys, look, we're putting the wheels back on. So first time wheels are going on since turbos are on. Still working on the tuning, still getting stuff done, but I'm gonna update you guys whenever I get to getting the Rocklights in on the rest of the truck. All right, so we're finally back on the Denali. As you can tell, the wheels are off, but we're gonna be getting the rest of the Rocklights finally installed on this thing. So we're gonna get all of the fender liners yanked out of this and get them in here because most of the Rocklights are actually gonna be on that. I got two on the back frame. Those are really the only things that are gonna be mounted to the truck besides the strips. So yank all the fender liners out, and then my front two Rocklights are actually on my skid plate, which is already in here somewhere. I think it's over there. But most of them we're just gonna be able to do off of the truck, and then we'll pull it back in, get the back ones mounted, and run all the wires for everything. And I'm gonna show you guys what I do for these fender liners because I do something a little different. I know some people do it, but not everyone does. And this is a big tip if you're doing Rocklights. You definitely want to do it, so stay tuned for that. But I'm gonna get all these yanked off. I'll see you guys here in a minute. So we've got all of the fender liners yanked out, and now we got to remove all our old Rocklights. Now, I'm gonna be showing you guys why I'm updating to the new ones. Let me grab some of these. Not only did Dynamic Lighting hook me up with some new ones, these are also gonna be an upgrade. So, as most people, I just had the Amazon specials on there, and don't get me wrong, they did me fine, but these are gonna be way brighter, and I'm gonna show you exactly why. I'm gonna turn this camera around and show you now. As you can see here in the Dynamic Lighting, we have 9 LEDs in that LED board. In the old crusty ones, we only got 3. So, in theory, these should be 3 times brighter per light. And we're gonna be having 16 on this. So we're gonna have 3 in each wheel well, 2 on the front, 2 on the back, and then we're also gonna be having the LED strips down the side. And we can't forget the billet ones in the engine bay. We got 4 of those. So this thing is gonna be lit up super bright. Now, I'm gonna get into yanking all of the old ones out and getting the new ones put in the fender liners. All right, so we got the old Rocklights out. Now we're gonna get the new ones put in. Like I said, we have 16 of these and the frame lights as well. That one was already unboxed. But yeah, we're gonna get all of these installed into the fender liners, except for 2. And then get those 2 put on the truck. And you know, that part's really boring, but I will show you how I do the plugs on these, because if you're doing fender liner lights or any lights on a detachable piece, put a plug on it so you don't have to cut the wire every time. We're gonna be putting plugs on the skid plate and on the 4 fender liners so that I can easily remove them if I need to, especially with the turbo setup now on the truck. We got to pull the fender liners to do a lot of work, so it makes it easier when that thing is on a plug. And then all we'll have to do is run a wire with a plug to each fender liner, plug it in, and run it to the controller. So be super easy. I'm gonna get one of these done. I'm gonna show you guys exactly how I did it. Okay, so we got all of the wires connected. I kind of just threw these things over in a pile, but we've got all of the wires ran, and like I said, we run all 3 of these to 1 plug. So now we'll be able to just easily remove this thing. And if you guys need those plugs, Amazon, you just get a plug. They're not hard to find. Just a positive, negative, or a 2-pin plug. Get the waterproof ones, as these are outside. And we got them on all the fender liners and over on the skid plate. And we're gonna get these back on the truck, and then we'll start running the rest of the wires. Okay, so we are out here at dark. I finished up the Rocklight install, and I'm gonna turn around, which actually, I'm using the light right now to do it, so it's pretty good. We have 16 Rocklights on the wheel wells, 3 in each wheel well, 2 on each end of the frame, and then we also have an LED strip. Now, the LED strip is a little bit of a different color, but it's better than nothing, I guess. With this truck being so low, I couldn't run Rocklights. I just advised to run Rocklights, and you won't have this problem. But I'm so low that it would just do little circles, and that's all I was worried about. But I'm gonna turn this camera around. I'm gonna show you guys the engine bay lights, which are the Billet series lights, and then underneath the truck is just their normal run-of-the-mill Rocklights that everyone offers. So I'm gonna turn this thing around. So as you can tell, the engine bay lights are super freaking bright. It's like blurring the camera out. Didn't expect it to be that bright. As is the normal Rocklights that are underneath the truck. They are super bright. And as you can tell, there is a little bit of a different color here, but like I said, I'm not too worried about it at all. This thing is way brighter than it used to be. And if that does bug me, I could always just unplug it. I did put all of this stuff on plugs, so it makes it easy, but this thing is super bright. Yeah, so now definitely don't have to worry about it not having enough light, because before it was never this bright. So we went from the 3 LEDs to the 9 LED pods from Dynamic Lighting, and like I said, super bright. Now guys, this is on a lowered truck. Now I want to point out 2 things. One, no, I don't run stocks all the time. This is just because we're doing some stuff with the turbo setup, but we run bigger wheels. Don't worry, I don't run Rocklights and stocks. But one of the things I want to point out is this truck is really low, so it might not look like they expand really far and all this and that. This is just really a bad judge because the truck is practically stock height. If you have a bigger vehicle, these lights are going to spread, so you won't have to either use nearly as many, and it's also just going to cover more of the ground. Even just driving down the road, you can just see this stuff on this low of a truck already sticking way out. So you definitely don't have to worry about having a ton of these lights. They're super bright and they're super good. Like I said, these Billet ones, those are the move though. If you can afford them, get them. Even especially on like stuff like this, like engine bay and bed lights, stuff where you're really going to see these lights. Or if you're just a baller. I mean, if you're just a baller, you can't not have Billet Rocklights. Come on now. But these things are super killer, and thank you to Dynamic Lighting for sending these Billet lights out and sponsoring the truck. So if you guys enjoyed this video, definitely hit that like and subscribe button. I hope you guys got to see a kind of a good comparison over these lights, and I'll see you guys in the next one.